The Flock. Year 2035 AD.
Mr. Armand Minnesanger, you can find your vehicle at box F2011. Thanks, your sister is a washing machine and I screw her with a toilet brush. Is there something you did not appreciate about our service? The service is impeccable, but you remind me of the scumbag who killed my mother. I beg your pardon, what can I do for you? I would like to see you kill yourself by slashing your throat with a fork. Would that be possible? Mr. Minnesanger, I do not think that is within my range of actions. Would you like me to file a complaint or call a tangible? If you do, I will kill myself right here on the spot. You see this key with this, I can slit my veins right away. Want me to do it? How can I help you? I cannot help you. How can I help you? I cannot help you. How can I? The attendant Olo went into a loop and Armand turned his back on it, leaving it to repeat those questions to thin air. Emptiness talking to emptiness, he thought, as he calmly headed for his box, where the assigned car was parked. It was not easy to crash certain programs by pushing them that far, yet he had become quite an expert in that particular pastime. Harassing automatic holograms was one of his favorite hobbies. The next customer at the car rental, if they wanted a vehicle, would have to unlock it. The company might investigate to find out why it malfunctioned, but he would not face any consequences. It still was not a crime to torture a hologram. Children did it all the time with their babysitters, teachers, and Olo friends, and they were experts at sending them into a loop. The programs running the holograms designed for children were loaded with pedagogical constraints, and, in the end, they still operated on if-then-else control statements. Adults usually taught children not to torment holograms because the adults themselves would then have the task of rebooting my friend, the Olo management program. Although interactive holographic technology based on ORW and AR was rather new, sociologists had already outlined common trends. As people grew up, they tended to treat Olo more politely and to unconsciously consider them as peers, sometimes even developing affectionate feelings toward them. Only children, cruel by definition, and sadists like Armand took pleasure in pushing the buffer capacity of the servers running Olo control programs to its limits. Children did it by instinct, and adults did it for the pure delight of seeing them freeze. Armand stepped onto the horizontal acceleration strip that took him from the Hertz reception area to Section F, then used the inclined plane to reach the second level. Soon, he was in front of the box assigned to him. The box sensor detected his SQP, the soundproof gate split like the Red Sea, and the car rose from beneath the ground, executing a 180-degree turn to reveal its entire silhouette to the business client. The vehicles offered at that level were all white on the outside except for their tires, and inside every part of the car could be rendered transparent. He had booked a hydrogen-powered Audi that provided maximum comfort and safety. The driver's door opened, and a brunette hostess in white and yellow emerged, surrounded by a pink aura. With a faint Middle Eastern accent, she said, "We can provide you with a driver, or would you like to use one of yours? Any new additions? You can see on the display that, besides the classics, we recently added Michael Schumacher and Robert De Niro. Since you are from Europe, you might be pleased to know that we have also added Tazio Nuvolari among our historical drivers this month." "Thanks, I will keep my own, goodbye." "It has been a pleasure," she said, disappearing behind a column, leaving a delicate scent of flowers and sea breeze in the air. "Where to, sir?" asked the Olo of Dennis Weaver, the David Mann version from Duel, with a mustache, big glasses, and a blue aura. "We are going to Jizr El Quadi, specifically to the Al Jazarine restaurant." "Do you know where it is?" "I have all of Lebanon in my pocket, Mr. Minnesanger." "Glad to hear it." "Then let us go. Please get in, and let us hope we can drive without someone trying to kill us." "You know something, Mr. Mann?" "Yes," said the driver, pausing as he was about to take his seat behind the wheel of the Audi. "If you make that joke one more time, I will erase you and replace you with David Starsky or Max Rockatansky." "How does that sound?" I will try to be more original in the future. I am sorry for repeating myself. I thought you liked that line. I spent a fortune to give you a realistic personality, and this is how you repay me. I will be more careful from now on. I promise, Mr. Minnesanger. For the next 22 kilometers, I do not want to hear you speak. Confirm that you understand, then keep quiet. Yes, I understand. Good, let us go. The Olo driver and Armand finally got in, and the vehicle started up silently, threading its way through Beirut's busy streets toward the south. It was late May, and the heat outside was almost unbearable, but the car's air conditioning let Armand have a refreshing nap as the rented car, picked up at Rafik Hariri Airport, conveyed him safely to his destination. He would meet his colleagues of Flak Jadid from Syria, Gerardus Lansdorp from the Netherlands, Dimko Mladenov from Bulgaria, Jemil Tadel from Ethiopia, and Alexei Galyubev from Russia at the Al Jazarine restaurant. When a team from the flock gathered for a mission, the shepherds always had to be 6. That was the rule. Armin's brothers back in Europe, Ivo and Lucio, would make sure that if something unfortunate happened to him, the line from his homeland would not be lost. He and his 5 colleagues were supposed to recover a crucial piece of equipment. The Syrian shepherd had learned about the discovery of the amulet and about the user of the Ancestral Technique. According to the intelligence they had, the predator had only just begun to understand what was in his possession, so they had to act before dreams began guiding him and he fully unlocked the amulet's potential. The amulet in question was a Hittite bronze pectoral containing 2 large upper canines of the extinct cave bear. The artifact was astonishingly well preserved for something over 4,000 years old, and according to the flock sources, it came from the eastern Taurus Mountains in Turkey. The shepherds had been hunting for this piece for ages, but the trail had been lost between the fall of the Ottoman Empire and the outbreak of World War I. Armand and the other flock adepts knew well that whoever owned the amulet could command the Hurrian demon Tarhan, the Anatolian equivalent of Thor, the ancient Norse thunder god. Armand had not tackled a mission like this for 6 years, and he felt a heavy sense of responsibility as well as some unease. Beyond retrieving the piece, he and the others also had to eliminate its owner. Killing was part of the procedure, since it was known that in ancient times, some predators, even without the amulet, had retained the demon's abilities tied to the artifact they once possessed. Without the catalyst of demonic mana, the predators could not pass on the technique, but the risk was far too great to have any scruples. In cases like this, the 6 shepherds had to be merciless. Flock law required it, and once they went into action, they could not leave a predator alive. Armand turned off the transparency feature of the Audi's chassis because watching the asphalt roll by under his feet at 80 kilometers an hour was making him queasy. The trip would take about an hour, and the driver was still following orders to keep silent. David, listen. You can talk now. Do me a favor. The food they gave me on the plane was awful. Is there somewhere on our route I can get a decent meal before we reach our destination? Mr. Minnesanger, in about 5 kilometers we will be in Satine, and there is an old pastry shop that is quite popular around here, with many positive reviews, even from foreigners. You could sample some local specialties there, not just sweets. I will trust you. Let us stop there. Perfect. I do not see any tankers on the road, so I am feeling relaxed. Anyway, just in case, I will wait in the car if that is all right with you. Sure, you are a very conscientious driver. In that case, I will take Kristen Stewart with me. That loudmouth's still the 2030 version. Yes, I want her in her 40s, with that black eye her ex-wife gave her. Any objections? No, it is just that. Dear David, you know you are a real fucking male chauvinist, said Kristen Stewart's voice as she suddenly appeared to Armin's right. Leave him be. Bella, he is a man of another era, Armand said, smiling amiably at the image of the woman with short, slightly graying hair, wrapped in her pink aura. Meanwhile, A barely noticeable fragrance of a pine forest in the rain spread throughout the cabin. I do not like this pink aura around me. Cannot I have a green one? She asked, eyeing her hands in annoyance. Sure, you could, but I am not legally certified as LGBT, so it would be illegal for me to give you a green aura. Maybe, using my influence with the military, I could get you a yellow one. What do you say? I am not an animal. Then stop talking nonsense, settle for pink, and quit busting my balls. Feminism and gender theory were orchestrated by my associates last century to destabilize the West, not to please a stupid hippie whore like you. Besides keeping your mouth shut, be ready because you will keep me company while I grab something to eat before our meeting.
Notice, Ancestral Technique. A technique used to harness the power of demonic spirits. CSL, Local Health Department. The USL, Local Health Unit, becomes the CSL in 2029. AR, Augmented Reality.
Augmented reality that can be perceived with the aid of ORW and SQP.
TCS, Totalizing Connection Syndrome.
A syndrome where people live constantly in the virtual world and only engage with the real world for work, eating, and defecation.
PQD, Portable Quantistic Device. A small quantum laptop. SQP, Subcutaneous Quantistic Processor. A subcutaneous quantum processor, also referred to as the device. MF, my friend. The operating system of the SQP. ORW, Organic Retinal Wrap.
An organic film installed on the retina to make projected images visible.
OLO.
Holographic images used for remote communication, visible through the use of ORW.
HND, also known as Hound Device.
A device anchored inside the nasal septum which, thanks to the SQP, can reproduce a vast range of odors. It has been widely used since 2032, as OLOs, both virtual and personal, are generally programmed with introductory and closing scents.
AT, Audio Tattoo.
A colorless tattoo imprinted on the external auditory canal of the ear, enabling people to hear audio from augmented reality and from devices connected to SQP and PQD.
Alicia Tango Silver Lake. A German pornographic actress from the 2030s of the 21st century. OMS, the World Health Organization. Relapses.
Narcoleptic and cataplectic crises caused by the excessive recreational use of the SQP.
Cataplexy.
A disorder that causes a loss of muscle tone triggered by strong emotions such as crying, laughter, or joy. Crises can also be triggered by recalling certain emotions, or may occur randomly during the day.
Objectors. Those who declined the installation and the use of the SQP. FRC, Cyber Resistance Front.
An action group opposing global technological control through nonviolent terrorism and demonstrative actions. The FRC is the most extremist anti-system group, but many of its members, especially in higher ranks, are effectively infiltrated agents of ATIS.
ATIS, Anti-Terrorism International Security, an international security organization focused on counterterrorism. Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster.
A parody religion founded by Bobby Henderson in opposition to creationism and intelligent design.
CPP, Pastafarian Pirate Commando.
An anti-system group drawing inspiration from the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, Pastafarianism. With the decline of major monotheistic religions, this parody religion ceased functioning as a counterbalance to intelligent design theories and began opposing the globalized technocracy that arose with the advent of the quantum processor and the SQP.
Gianni Caproni, Giovanni Battista Gianni Caproni.
Count of Toledo, born in Maswan on July 3, 1886, died in Rome on October 27, 1957. He was an aeronautical engineer, entrepreneur, and pioneer of Italian aviation.